Chapter 1. Definition of wine. Wine types. Wine. It is a beverage obtained from the total or partial alcoholic fermentation of must or grapes. This definition means that it can only be deemed a wine if it has come from grapes. Wine types. There are different classifications of wines, and we will focus on those three that we believe are most practical and general. 1. General classification. This is the most widespread and important. It is the classification of wines according to their production methods and covers all possible types. 2. Age classification. Based on differentiating wines in accordance with the amount of time that they have been aged for or put down in the cellar before their release onto the market. 3. Classification by sugar level. The amount of sugar in the wine determines its structure. This type of classification is common for fortified and sparkling wines. 1. General classification. A. Still wines. Its alcohol content ranges from a minimum of 9% and a maximum of 14.5%. White. It is obtained from white grapes. Although rare, white wine can also be obtained from red grapes with colorless flesh, from which the skin is separated. Grape skin, outer part. Red. It is obtained from red grapes, from which the skin is not separated. The grapes are left to macerate together with the pulp and skin to color the liquid. Rosé. It is obtained from red grapes which have been partially separated from their skins, and which have been left to macerate for a shorter period than red wines. B. Special wines. Cava, carbonated. Sparkling wines. Cava is a natural sparkling wine produced in Spain. The traditional method of producing cava is the same method used in champagne. Carbonated. These are wines to which gas is added artificially. Sparkling wines. These may be natural or not. At Maset del Geo, they are always obtained naturally. A natural sparkling wine is that which conserves some of the carbon dioxide left over from the fermentation of the sugar, whether it be natural or added sugar, and which fizzes gently with bubbles when opened, but does not produce foam. The procedure for sparkling wine is similar to the process of making cava, except that the second fermentation does not take place in the bottle, but is done in a vat and then bottled afterwards. There are other special wines like fortified wines, wine liqueurs, naturally sweet dessert wines, mistela wines, drinks derived from wine, aromatic wines, punch, vermouth, sangria, wine aperitifs. 2. Classification by age. Young wines are those that have not been aged in wood or have only been aged for a very short period of time. They retain many of the varietal characteristics of the grapes from which they come, and they should be ideally consumed between 3 and 18 months after harvest. Aged wines are those which have had a minimum period of aging in wooden barrels and in the bottle. These are wines that develop in addition to the varietal characteristics that they possess, and other organoleptic characteristics that they have thanks to the aging period. The ideal consumption time varies depending on several factors, but is generally a far longer period than the young wines, usually between 2 and 8 years, although some can age for up to 20. The vintage wines are mostly red wines, although some are white, and very rarely indeed some are rosé. Under the collective banner of aged wines in accordance with the regulations of their classifications in Spanish, there are 3 subtypes: Crianza, vintage, Reserva, reserve, and Gran Reserva, grand reserve. Crianza. These wines spend a minimum of 6 months in wood and up to 2 years in the bottle. Crianza wines are both those that spend 1 year in the barrel and another in the bottle, and those that spend 18 months in the barrel and 6 months in the bottle. Reserva. These wines spend a minimum of 1 year in the barrel and up to 3 years in the bottle. Gran Reserva. These wines spend a minimum of 2 years in the barrel and up to 5 years in the bottle. 3. Classification by sugar level. A. Dry wines are those that contain less than 5 grams per litre of sugar. B. Demi-sec wines are those that contain between 5 to 15 grams per litre of sugar. C. Medium sweet wines are those that contain between 15 and 30 grams per litre of sugar. D. Semi-sweet wines are those that contain between 30 and 50 grams per litre of sugar. E. Sweet wines are those that contain more than 50 grams per litre of sugar.